Welcome back to the Daily Dollar Podcast. I am your host, Cait McCready, and I am here with...
Art Morrison III, everybody.
Art Morrison III. Arthur George Morrison III.
Arthur George Morrison III.
And this is Acronym Week.
Acronym Week, and today is Friday's episode.
Yeah. Happy Friday, everyone.
Happy Friday, and it's episode 30.
Wow. I feel like we're going to do that every time.
Episode
every Friday,
30.
we're going to be like, wow, that's a lot.
$5 Friday, man.
Oh, $5 Friday. We haven't used that at all, not once, and that is a great marketing line, tool, whatever.
Anyway, what is the episode for today, Caitlin McCready?
Another acronym we have here for Acronym Week.
The final acronym of Acronym Week, and honestly, it's probably the least interesting one.
And I hate it the most.
I don't know why we saved it for Friday, but yes, and everyone hates it. No one likes it.
HOA.
HOA. It stands for HO. Just kidding. HOA, Homeowners Association. What is the Homeowners Association?
What is the Homeowners Association?
It's literally a committee. I can explain to you. It's literally a committee formed by condos and townhomes and other communities that ensure that the communities stay to a certain standard of living.
Yes.
So, as you can imagine, any committee of people, any governing body is going to suck badly. They're either going to be too strict or they're not going to do enough. They're never going to get it right. It's like anything ever that anyone did in a group. It always sucks. But
it's like a little government, the government of your community.
It's like the government of your community, and it's like if Nasty Nancy is part of the government, you know it's going to reflect Nasty Nancy. It's like
your neighbor, Nasty Nancy, nonetheless.
Your neighbor, yeah. So it's like it's the worst. It's the worst part of democracy, but it tends to be the most effective. So why is that relevant in real estate?
Because these are things that you have to account for. Say if we want to flip a house, at the end of it, when we're selling it, that HOA fee is tacked on to what your monthly payment is.
So fees is number one.
Okay.
Okay. But also even just abiding by the rules of the HOA. If you want to flip a house in a community where there's an HOA, you got to abide by the rules. So they literally have rules of like how tall trees can be, what kind of grass you can grow,
what kind of vehicle you can have in your driveway, what kind of
car you can have. They can have these kind of rules because it's a vote. So everybody in the community or everyone on the committee that represents the community is saying, we don't want no pickup trucks in this community. Then guess what? There's no pickup trucks. And if you want to live there, you can't have a pickup truck. And if you buy one, then they're going to hit you with fines and they can legally come after you for breaking the rules of the HOA.
Yeah.
But what Cait was saying, back to what she was saying, is fees. This is really why people don't like the HOA. They're annoying, but they do usually keep neighborhoods. Like we live in a neighborhood with no HOA, and I almost wish we had one because we got a couple neighbors who don't really take care of their houses the way I would want them to. They use weird color schemes. Their door don't be matching. Like I have OCD. I'm a perfectionist. I wish we had an HOA to govern our neighbors, but we do not. So HOA can be positive. Don't take this wrong.
You can also, as a community, come together and decide that you want an FHA.
You can create
and
an HOA.
Or, sorry, FHA. Did I say FHA?
You said
an
FHA.
HOA.
You ruined the episode. We're going to stop it. HOA.
Sorry, guys,
HOA. Just think
HOA.
Think hose.
This is a clean podcast.
Hose is not a bad word. It's a tool used to clean the yard. Get your mind out the gutter.
Continue. Say more.
Anywho, HOA, Homeowners Association, comes with fees. How much are the fees? Typically, they could be anywhere from $100, $150, which you'll see in like some less expensive condos with less amenities, all the way up to I've seen HOA fees for $997 a month.
Jeez.
Because they have a parking garage and like lights and a fitness center and a pool and tennis courts, all that need tending to. And how are those things all paid for? A common bucket and pool of money called an HOA fee.
The greatest though is if that is including like landscaping and stuff.
Yeah, I mean a lot of times it does. I mean, and sometimes it's worth it. Like typically, I always see like $300 to $500 is the HOA fee.
Yeah.
That's like typical. If you see one for $150, it's like why is there even an HOA fee?
A lot of the lower ones are in like condo type communities. Lower fees anywhere between like $200 and $400.
Well, condo, I wouldn't even say that, Cait, because condo is, I know what you're thinking. Condos are like the kind of community you drive in, and the houses are all connected and next to each other.
Yeah,
And
like townhomes.
it's like apartments, but they're condos. No, not like townhomes. Townhomes have an entrance from the outside. Condos can have either an entrance from the outside or inside. But what I'm saying is, a condo is so broad that it could be a high rise with a high HOA.
Yes.
Because someone needs to like vacuum the hallways and they might have
wash the windows.
Yeah, and it might have a nice gym, and it might have. So I wouldn't really say that's typically in condos. Your HOA fee is just gonna, because even like where your parents live, they live in a very affluent neighborhood of typically like basically mansions, but the HOA I'm sure is high because like the landscaping.
Yeah, they have like there's like a rule there. I think my stepmom.
What's your
was telling
HOA
me.
like $700?
I have no clue. I'll ask them after this, but
Ask now.
oh, here we
This
go.
is what we do live on the podcast. That's why we got the iPad here. On the last episode, if you guys weren't tuned in, we found out from an actual doctor what the type of loan is that they receive in order to get 100% financing.
I want everyone to know I just immediately typed in, what's your HOE fee? Because Art keeps saying ho.
Well, at least she didn't type FHA.
What's your FHA fee? That would be stupid.
Let's see what she says back. But anyway, yeah, so HOA fees can come in any form. They're not just for condos, they're for townhomes or anywhere that has
I
an
was
HOA.
saying, they have like this crazy rule where it can only be like one of two trees in their front yard.
You literally have to pick from a certain color palette,
Yeah.
certain types of trees.
And like two houses can't be the same color next to each other. Or like every like three houses, each one has to be a different
They
color.
also can have rules against
Yeah.
Airbnb or renting out.
Yeah.
Yeah, so the HOA is very important because they're literally the governing body of the community.
Yeah.
So the government's always important, whether it's small or big.
Yeah, so whether you're buying a house, selling a house, flipping a house, renting out a house, if you're allowed to in that community, the HOA, their rules and their fees are extremely important to keep.
You got to be careful, like in Florida. So like we always like, okay, if you're buying a house, a townhome or a condo or somewhere with an HOA, you got to be careful because you go on Zillow and you be like, yo, Jersey is expensive, man. Florida got townhomes for $200,000.
Yeah.
And you know, a mortgage on $200,000 is basically $1,000 a month. You like, yo, but then the HOA fee is $750. So you're really paying $1,750 a month.
Yeah.
That's a whole different
Completely
situation,
different deal.
especially since that $750 is not going toward your mortgage.
So what could
it's
that
going
extra...
to the pockets of the HOA to take care of the house. So you're not building equity. Only $1,000 is going toward equity. And keep in mind that $1,000 barely touches your equity in your first years anyway.
So put that into perspective. How much more of a house could you buy with that monthly payment?
Yeah, so $1,750 can afford you essentially a $300,000 house.
Versus
$285,000.
Versus what you... Oh, per year.
Okay, so there's annual HOAs. You can tell us. That's the whole point of the episode.
Okay,
Just
so
act like it was a
live
secret.
on the air. Well, first off, I saw 2,200, and I immediately thought monthly, but it's per year, so 2,200
a year. Get the calculator out. What is that on a month?
Well, my phone's over there. I'll go grab it.
Babe, there's a calculator on.
No, there's not.
You can type it in Google. Oh my gosh. Why don't women listen? Why don't they listen?
A fun thing about this
You just
podcast...
left the podcast to go get your phone. Just like
They could hear me. It's literally right there. So let's
she
see.
ruins every single episode.
2,200.
Divided by 12.
We'll talk about this after, guys.
$183 a month. So not a lot, but...
Oh, but no, listen. We didn't read the rest of the message. It's only for the common areas. So they're responsible for their entire yard.
So they're responsible for the yard and landscaping. The HOA does not take care of that, but the HOA still governs it. Mm-hmm. So they still tell you what kind of trees and grass and pets you can have.
When I tell you that they are very nitpicky, from what I've heard.
In the affluent neighborhoods, they tend to be more nitpicky because they have to hold a standard of people who are buying. I don't want to put business out there, but let's say $750,000 to $1 million homes, $1.5 million homes. There needs to be an FHA to govern how these homes are upkept.
Yeah.
So
I expected that to be higher, but that's very interesting. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anywho.
Nonetheless, live answers on the air here on the Daily Dollar.
We're getting we got to figure out how to do call-ins, like lifelines.
I think we could do that.
Yeah, I guess you just put the phone close to the mic.
Yeah, remember when we
People
played our
would be
YouTube
so
video?
like caught off guard.
Yeah.
Like, yo, real quick, what's your credit score? Like, yo, real fast, live on the air, your social security number, go. Anyway, guys, that is episode 30. And it's Friday, the last episode of Acronym Week here on the Daily Dollar. Like, share, subscribe. YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and Spotify, and anywhere else you listen to podcasts. United Home Relief to check out more episodes and more real estate content.
UnitedHomeRelief.com.
UnitedHomeRelief.com.
You're welcome.
UnitedHomeRelief.com for more real estate resources that we offer, as well as our online course, teaching all this stuff in a little bit more professional way, an organized way to help propel you into the real estate space, the vast land of real estate.
Yeah. Don't forget to give us a 5-star review on...
Yeah, leave reviews, guys, and send us topics.
Yeah. Hit our DMs at United Home Relief on Instagram. I'm the Cait McCready on Instagram. This is all in the show notes.
Oh, that's what we're doing now? We're shouting out ourselves?
He is at Art Morrison III on Instagram.
Follow me, dog.
Yeah. Well, you can send in topics to any of those accounts.
Or at United Home Relief. You said that?
Yeah. All of these are in the show notes every single time.
Oh, they're in the notes?
Yep.
Good job.
You guys know. I have the website.
I just show up. Cait, she does everything. I just show up.
Yes. And that is why women don't, quote unquote, listen. So that'll be the end of Acronym Week.
Poke your lips out. Poke your lips out. Come
that
here.
Is.
Let me pluck
We're
your
11
lips.
minutes in. We gotta shut this thing down.
I'm having fun now. Shoot, pull up.
The people want to go to.
This your wine?
Yeah, you have your own.
Mm-hmm.
This is an audio medium, so
whatever.
people don't know what you're doing.
Art Morrison III here, ladies and gents.
Cait McCready here.
And thank you for watching The Daily Dollar, listening to The Daily Dollar.
Or watching.
Or both. We'll catch you guys in the next episode.
Another day, another dollar.
Peace.